Hey there, I'm Sarah from Unsettling Toy Removal and Rehoming. For those of you who are new joining us, we are a company that takes creepy toys from people's homes, places where they're unwanted, where they're freaking people out, and find them new homes with families who want them and appreciate their quirky qualities. And we certainly have a few that have some major quirky qualities. So it is 100 degrees in Portland today. So I am recording from my bar in the basement because it is about 20 degrees cooler down here than it is in the rest of my house. I thought that in the basement would be an excellent place to talk about a new doll that we got just a little while ago. It came from California. And after the doll arrived, I asked the person who sent it if I could share her story, and she said that was fine and wrote me a nice little write-up about what her family had experienced. So I thought I would read that for you, and then when I'm done, I will show you the new doll that we got. All right, so the lady writes, my daughter got the doll for Christmas from her godmother. We had just moved into our new home in September. The doll came with its own name printed on the box, but I don't remember the name. My daughter didn't show much interest in it, so she didn't even bother to name it. I saw her play with it maybe twice, if that. The trouble all started about a month ago. My 6-year-old daughter started having nightmares and not wanting to sleep with the lights off. She shares a room with my older daughter, who's 17. My 17-year-old would tell me how my 6-year-old would sit up in the middle of the night and stare into nothing, and sometimes talk to someone that wasn't there. When we would ask my 6-year-old about her nightmares, she wouldn't remember it. When we would ask her who she was talking to at night, she would reply with, "No, I didn't. I was asleep." About 2 weeks before mailing you the doll, she finally told us at the dinner table how she saw this doll walk down our hallway and how the doll would stare at her. Our house is 3-bedroom, and we use one of the rooms as a toy room, and that's where the doll was kept. As my daughter told us about the doll, I didn't think much of it, but I wanted to make sure I listened and wanted to make my daughter feel safe. I put the doll in a plastic bag and put her out in the garage in a pile of things I had for our neighborhood garage sale. 2 days later, my daughter came into my room early in the morning because she had a nightmare. My husband starts work early, and I was still in bed. I had a feeling someone else was in my room, and I felt tugging at my blankets. I quickly woke up, but no one was there, and I knew no one was beside me, and my 2 younger kids were asleep in their beds. And then I started to doze off again, and for some reason, I started hearing shuffling through my drawers on my side table of my bed. I woke up to see nothing. It scared me. It might have been my imagination, but it sure felt real that morning. While in the kitchen making breakfast for my 6-year-old, she said, "Mom, you really need to get rid of that doll. It creeps me out." And I said, "It's in the garage. It can't bother you." And my daughter said, "I can see her feet sticking out." I thought that was strange because how would she know? She's not allowed in the garage unless I'm with her, and even then, she wouldn't get near the area where the doll was. I became a little frightened, so I felt the need to talk to someone about it, and I messaged my sister. Growing up, it was normal for us to hear my sister talk about seeing dead people. I know, it's weird, but we were used to it. So I felt like maybe she could explain to me what was going on. She had me check to see if what my daughter had said about the doll's feet was true. As I went out and looked for her under a large heavy box that my husband had set on top, sure enough, her legs were the only part sticking out. That's when I decided I didn't want to sell her or give it to some random person. My sister advised me not to throw it away, and then she told me about your website and told me to give it to you guys, to someone who wants that type of doll. So that's when we decided to put the doll in the box, tape it up, and left her outside until you replied back. My mother was very religious, and she passed away a couple years ago. She would always have holy water in her home. My sister brought it over, and we spread holy water throughout. I can admit we feel a sense of peace, and my daughter has been able to sleep better. No more nightmares yet. So that is an example of one of our clients who has sent us something. Now let me grab the doll. One of my favorite things is that it came wrapped in black plastic. But one of my other favorite things about this particular one is that not all of the dolls that we get look creepy. You know, we have a whole lot of dolls that look really scary, that have, something wrong with their eyes, or that have their head falling off, or, you look at them and you're like, oh my, look at that. That's not good. But some of our dolls that have the creepier stories, right, here she is, are just kind of normal looking dolls. You wouldn't automatically look at her and think that she has such a story behind her, but indeed she does. and we are very happy to have her. We'll be posting her pretty soon, and starting to look for her new home. So sometimes dolls come to us and they already have names. Sometimes they come to us like her and they either were never named or their name has been lost through time. If anyone has any awesome ideas for a name for this doll, she is still unnamed. And before we put them up for adoption, we like to make sure that they have one. So put in comments if you have any ideas for what we should name this lovely lady. And I think that's about it. If you want to hear lots of weird stories about creepy dolls and the people who send them to us and the people who love to adopt them, then give us a follow. We would love to tell more stories. Thanks so much.